What I admitted was Tom Brady is declining steadily. Not that he's not much worse than he used to be, but it didn't happen suddenly. Suddenly, I'll use sign language because Stephen A. took his ear out. That's all.
All right. We're all declining. I look at myself 10 years ago. Pictures. Ryan, focused on you here, though. Is Cam just another guy at this point?
Yeah, man. He's a Jag. And it's not necessarily that he doesn't have special moments. It's that he can't have those special moments consistently anymore. Every now and then we'll see a throw to the sideline to Damiere Byrd, or you'll see the post route that he throws against the Houston Texans, and you'll say, oh, there it is. That's the Cam I know. That's the Cam we saw play at a high level in 2015, a high level in 2018, and then that goes away, and he skips the ball to a hitch, or he misses an over route to a wide open receiver. And then even in the pocket, where we used to look at his elusiveness, where we used to look at the power and the explosiveness that he could run with as revolutionary, as something that was transcendent, as a talent that had changed the game, we don't see that anymore. We don't see Cam Newton getting away. We don't see the Cam Newton second play opportunities. We don't see the Cam Newton that was a feared runner on 3rd and short for the Carolina Panthers. And so now, because he never necessarily developed those things outside of that skill set, because he was so talented, because his measurables were so high, and he never actually got outside of that to the accuracy. He never got outside of that to reading the defenses and making sure he puts the ball in the right position each and every time. We're kind of seeing not only a decline, but we're seeing a consistent amount of average play from Cam Newton. And don't get me wrong, when you play on a team like the New England Patriots without the skilled players on the outside, it doesn't help. You know, we saw Tom Brady toward the end of last season not be great as well. But when you look at Cam Newton's individual play, it's gotten to a point now to where you say, you know what? I don't know if it's just the New England Patriots or if Cam Newton can't be extremely successful anywhere anymore. And I think that's a sad thing for us, because I wanted to see him excel in New England and show everyone that he deserves to be a starting quarterback in this league.
It's too early to say Cam is just a guy. Way too early. First of all, he's coming off a catastrophic injury. Usually a catastrophic injury, give it a year to get back, to where you were. But secondly, he's going to a whole new scheme, a whole new place, a whole new coach, a whole new system. Thirdly, he's dealt with COVID this year. Like, personally, he had COVID. Plus the facilities were shut down on a team without any talent. Their defense isn't there since the offseason, right? Chung and Hightower, and they lost Gilmore for a while. And their offense was non-existent last year. Everyone complained about what Brady had to work with last year. Cam has less than Brady had last year. So when you add all that up, the fact that Cam Newton and the Patriots have a win against the Dolphins, the Raiders, now the Cardinals, and they came one play away from beating the Seahawks and one play away from beating the Bills, and they're one game above 500. You change 2 plays, they're 7-4. That Cam is just a guy. Way too early to say, given everything he's dealt with, including coming back from injury. Keep this in mind, Stephen A. When Cam was at his best, he was never a top 10 QBR quarterback, but he was the MVP. He was voted by his peers the best player in the game. He took a team to the Super Bowl where he was his own best running back and his tight end was his best receiver. Who's his best receiver now? He doesn't have any real receivers to work with who anyone would consider that's a guy who'd start on a lot of teams. And who's his best running back? As usual, him. Only now he doesn't have a defense. And he's one game under 500? You can't call him just a guy. Not yet.
Are you finished? Finished? Because I didn't interrupt on purpose. Because you see, here's what makes me laugh here's what to me makes your position laughable. So Tom Brady, and long before he was 43, had hit he had reached a cliff that ultimately became a ravine. Did you know that Tom Brady, other than his first year as a starter, has never thrown less than 23 touchdowns in a season? Ever. Cam Newton only did that 3 times in his career. Do you know that right now Cam Newton has got 4 touchdowns and 9 interceptions? Do you know that that age where it's a little extra dust collected on your birth certificate, according to you, that's the death knell for quarterbacks? It doesn't necessarily have to be a trigger number. It has to be the fact that age and attrition has kicked in and you just ain't what you used to be. Now, you might not be that way in your 40s, Ryan, when you throwing the football. But isn't it considerably sooner when your success is predicated on your ability to run the football? In other words, you don't have to be 40 then. You can be 30, but because you were successful running the football in your 20s, once you hit that 30 mark, because Max Kellerman, you can appreciate this. Turn off those highlights for a second, please, because I want to look at Ryan and Max when I'm saying this. I don't give a damn about those highlights right now. Let me tell you something. We look at running backs, and we say to running backs that your career is coming to an end because you've hit the trigger number of 30. Well, even though you're a quarterback, if your success is predicated on your ability to run the football, why isn't the same applicable at that particular moment in time? We've always known that Cam wasn't the most accurate passer in the world, but his athleticism and his wheels are what we placed faith in. Is it possible that because you might have lost a step and your ability to run the football effectively and absorb punishment the way that you did when you were in your 20s is no longer equal to what it used to be? Because of that, combined with your consistent inability to be the most accurate thrower in the world, even though he's competing 66% of his passes right now, is it possible that because of those elements, he's just another guy?
It is, Stephen
The
A.
answer is
possible.
Yes, he is.
Yep.
Period. As of right now,
the answer,
that's how he looks.
The answer is yes, it is possible, but it is way too early to say. He's way too young, and he's leading a team that is overachieving. And so, like, what's the key to any kind of success in the NFL is coach quarterback. So is Belichick the greatest of all time? Sure, but, like, just look at the season for a second. I put the schedule up while you were talking. They beat the Dolphins. They lose by one play to the Seahawks. They beat the Raiders, and then he gets COVID. All right, he gets COVID. What do you want? He doesn't play against the Chiefs. We all said it on the air, like, this dude might be still feeling the effects, and then he talked about it later, losing to the Broncos and Niners. Then what happened? A one-play loss to the Bills, beat the Jets, beat the Ravens, lost to Deshaun Watson, who played lights out, and just beat the Cardinals. Like, he has too many quality wins, and the middle of the season where he wasn't good, COVID. Like,
He
think
beat the Cardinals.
about what this dude is dealing with.
Max,
The point is, he's the quarterback who's leading the team.
Max, I understand that. And listen, we talk all the times about wins. I don't necessarily know if wins are always a quarterback-driven stat. But here's what I know. I'm not saying that Cam Newton is done. I'm saying that he's just another guy. And so when I say he's just another guy, I say he's that middle of the pack guy. He's that guy that can make a play every now and then when you need it, that makes a team that makes a team be exceedingly better than they should be that day. But he doesn't do that for an entire season. You don't decide that when you get him on your team, you're now on a different tier than you were before he entered. And I think that's what we're saying about Cam Newton. We're just saying he's the middle of the pack.
Right.
We're saying that there are 12. Yo, what's up, Stephen A?
Did you just hear what Max slid in there? He said, like Tom Brady. So now Cam is like Tom Brady.
Middle of the pack.
You talk Tom Brady
the
like
middle of
that?
the pack.
Smirk after.
Is that what you're saying?
Hold on, here's the difference. They're both middle of the pack, but Tom Brady is on a totally loaded team and didn't have COVID, where the facilities weren't shut down for days at a time, consecutive weeks. And Cam Newton has nothing on the team.